Hi, I'm Ryan, or Nanowave, depends on who you ask. I wrote the music for Cory in the House, The Return, a fan-made project directed by my good friend Sam Bates. He asked me to provide some behind-the-scenes clips, and I had actually been thinking about making some behind-the-scenes videos, so here you go. I use Logic Pro X to make music. It's basically GarageBand on a bunch of steroids. And the file I have open right now is the first song that I made for the project back in, it might have been March 2020. I found some vocals-only audio files on YouTube, downloaded them, and figured out the chords and added all of my own stuff. So here's what the song sounds like with only the vocals.
I'm the new kid, moving it, getting it done, and I'm officially the candidate for having some fun. Mr. President, you mind for me like the guitar?
So I'm sure you get the general idea from just that small part. My approach to remixing this original theme song was to find the original chords, chop it up a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting, and then just do my thing. That's what this beginning part is just me experimenting with drum beats and rhythms for the chords. And yeah, after that I introduce Cory's leitmotif. So you can hear that like all over the soundtrack. After introducing this motif, I build it up and then do this quick little like heavy bass drop. And then there's a little bridge with this.
Washington, D.C. will never be the same.
And I also completely reharmonized those. Oh, what was this? I completely forgot that I had electric piano in here. Wow, okay. And then we do this like another sort of build-up section. It's technically the main chorus, or I would consider it to be the main chorus. It ends with like this triumphant choir coming in and this building arpeggio, and then it drops off to like this little, I like to think of it as an afterburn, I suppose. So I'll play the last couple measures.
Shake it up and change it. Take it all and rearrange it. Cory in the house.
I'm your man.
That's the basics. Almost all of the sound design is pretty uninspired here. These chords are literally just a saw wave. The bass that brings in the motif, that is a stock electric bass. It's not even like a physical instrument, it's a MIDI instrument. I bit crushed it, I put a filter on it, which is that effect where it feels like it's coming closer almost. A couple amplifiers, distortion. This riser is something that I had already made. It's one of my custom presets. The drop, this is probably the most interesting sound design. In order to make this sound, I took one of Logic's stock bass sounds, but I put some effects on that, and then I also added a triangle wave on top of it and gave it a more punchy attack. So it's not, entirely unoriginal. I bring the synthesized bass and the upright bass back. I introduce this instrument. And that's just a square and saw wave, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, I put some flanger on it as well. It's not that obvious, but it's a bit of a swirling effect. And then I used Logic's stock chamber choir as well. And yeah, that is basically the track. It's, not too complicated. It was the first thing that I worked on, and I was really establishing a stylistic approach to the entire soundtrack when I was writing this. This specific bass sound is found all over the soundtrack. This bass sound is also found all over the soundtrack. The chords in this song are everywhere because it's like Corey's motif. And yeah, this is where the soundtrack really started like to get its identity.